What is going on, YouTube? My name is Elijah.
And I'm Haron.
And welcome to our YouTube channel and our first official YouTube page. I feel like we've been putting this off for too long and we finally decided to start this page. So welcome and thank you so much for watching. We will be going through our debt-free journey, some status update on where we are, how we got here, how much we have left, all that sort of good stuff. So be sure to first like this video, subscribe to our page, and share and comment.
So we would like to just kind of get started with what inspired us to actually do this video and start a YouTube channel. So first of all, you'll probably see in the title of this video that it's something that has to do with paying off our debt and our debt journey. And so just a little bit about what inspired us. About 20 months ago, I was in grad school and I was, kind of thinking about paying off my debt, and we just recently got engaged, and we were just kind of living, we were saving, but at the same time we were kind of living just a normal life, a normal consumerism life where we weren't thinking about our debt. We weren't really thinking about paying off our student loans ahead of time. We were just kind of paying the minimum to every single loan, our car payment, our credit card payments, and just that's kind of how we were living like normal Americans. We're, again, millennials, so we didn't really think about anything that has to do with paying off our debt early. I mean, come on. We have 10 years to pay off your student loan with the standard payments, and you have, 5 to 6 years to pay off your car loan. So we were just kind of in that mentality. And during kind of the end of my grad school journey, I was just kind of doing some research on paying off debt, how some people kind of were able to balance out their debt and budget. And I ran into a couple of blogs. One was a young woman who paid off her grad school loan, and her boyfriend was about able to save a down payment for their house or a property within 3 years. And so that was a significant one of the biggest inspirations for us. She paid, I think, $90,000, and he saved $75,000 in 3 years. And when I saw that, I was thinking, we make that much, I think we make more than them actually at that time. They were living in DC. We live in St. Paul, Minnesota. So the living cost is different. So that's really what inspired us. And then we discovered Dave Ramsey, which is another huge inspiration. I mean, that is literally, I think I would say, kind of our hero. He's definitely his hero. And then the other person, I think, and then he read a lot of books, $1 Million Next Door, to really inspire us to get started. So after about a few months of searching from between January to May 2015, we decided, you know what, we could just do it. If people that were making about the same amount of money, than us, and were living in DC or New York can do it, we live in St. Paul, Minnesota, we could definitely do it. So that's really what inspired us to start our debt-free journey.
Absolutely. So that's where the motivation came from. Like she said, so she comes home and started sharing all the stories with me, and she just hit me with all of it at once. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of changes. That's a lot of things to achieve. And I was kind of a little intimidated at first, and kind of thought it was a lot of life changes. So I was definitely the hesitant one. And I thought she was being way too extreme. Our life was we thought we were living pretty good. We could pay our bills, we could make our minimum payments, and we thought we were doing pretty well for ourselves. But the more we dove into it, like she said, we started realizing that this is not the way we want to live. Long-term wise, this is not really going to be very sustaining. We really wanted to have some real concrete financial goals, and that's what really got us started. And so we got started on the journey. I finally came on board. She was able to help me see that.
5 months later.
5 months later, I finally came on board. And, I really then started to see that, wow, we could do a lot more better with our money. We're making this certain amount of money. But we didn't really have much to show for it. So we got started on the journey. And now we are, how many months in?
20 months.
20 months in.
And 20 months and 3 days to be exact.
20 months and 3 days in. And with that said, looking back at it, we just actually recalculated the amount right before we started this video. And we are sitting at $87,735.35. And so that's what we've been able to achieve the last 20 some months that we started this journey.
And that's paid off. So we paid that off.
Correct. So that's our paid off amount so far in the last 20 months that we've achieved. And so, we noticed obviously as we're going that we're paying off a good chunk of money, but it didn't really hit us till our 1 year mark when she had shared on her Facebook page kind of a 1 year update. A lot of friends that were close to us, they knew about the journey, sort of, nothing in too much detail, but we kind of were sharing with them because decided when they would invite us out to outings, we would kind of decline and things like that. So we'd share with them what was going on in our life, working on this debt-free journey. And so she had shared that 1 year status on Facebook, and we got a lot of feedback, a lot of questions, kind of people just asking, just to get to know more about it.
I had posted that update just saying, Elijah and I have been on this debt-free journey for a year now, and this is the amount that we paid off. And I think at that point we had paid off about
70 something.
It was about $66,000 around that time, something like that, $65,000 or $66,000, and that was about 8 months ago. And so it was an overwhelming amount of reaction about, like, really positive reaction about how we did it. People wanted to know what steps we took, and I was really surprised because, again, when we were doing it initially, I'm not gonna lie, some of our friends did make fun of us. Like, you guys are budgeting, and it was just like little funny like jokes about, oh, you get, especially like with me, some of my friends were like, oh, you can't go out without talking to Elijah about, how much money you have to spend. So it was kind of really funny. But it was true because we didn't really think that people our age really cared because, we spend money and we don't really think that much about it. And so when people found out, it was an overwhelming amount of support and just, I think curiosity was a huge thing. People were curious. People wanted to know. People inboxed me, how did you guys do it? Could you please share some resources with us? So, I was sharing resources over Facebook Messenger and kind of replying to people back. But then just during that time, we decided, why not start a YouTube channel? Because it seems like there's a lot of interest, especially for our age group, to really talk about becoming debt-free and being on a debt journey. So that's really kind of what prompted this as well.
Absolutely. So like she mentioned, that's how this channel came about. Mm-hmm. And our hope is that we're gonna upload a lot of content here, really dive in much deeper into a lot of the details of where we are with this journey, giving you guys the most update that we can, and really just taking you along the rest of the journey. And so that is why we're here. And like we said, we're very excited to kind of bring the YouTube world into this journey with us, and we hope you will continue to join us for the future. We'll be sharing kind of our status update. We'll be going into a lot more details about a lot of things that's changed in our life. We have wedding coming up and just a lot of things that we hope this channel will use to update you guys. So like I said, please subscribe, like this video, and we'll hope to be back soon.
Yeah, and then also if you guys have any questions or topic suggestions, we would love to hear about those, because we can then make videos about some of your specific topics as well.
Very good.
Thank you.